Welcome to Franchise Canada Chats, the podcast that takes you inside the world of Canadian franchising. I'm Renée Boudakian, founder and CEO of Rubicon Franchise Partners, and your host for Season 9. This season, we're going beyond the business model to uncover the real stories of franchise owners, the risks they took, the lessons they learned, and the successes they built. Join us as we sit down with franchisees, their franchisors, and industry experts to discuss emerging trends, cutting-edge technologies, and operational strategies shaping the future of franchising. Whether you're thinking about buying your first or next franchise, this podcast is your inside track to franchise success in Canada. From skilled technician to innovative franchise owner, our guest today proves that dedication and vision can transform a job into an entrepreneurial success story. On today's episode of Franchise Canada Chats, I'm joined by Cédric Léveillé, a franchisee of Fibrenew based in Quebec. Fibrenew is a leading restoration franchise specializing in the repair of leather, plastics, and vinyl items that would otherwise end up in landfills, providing an economical and sustainable alternative to replacement. Cédric, with his impressive 20-year journey from technician to franchise owner, has grown his Fibrenew business significantly, expanding his team, opening a physical workshop, and even moving to larger facilities to meet growing customer demand. Today, we're exploring his remarkable journey with the brand, how his innovations in customer relations and team building have created both loyal customers and a devoted team, and what's driving his current expansion into a second territory. Let's dive in. Cédric, welcome to the Franchise Canada Chats podcast.
Well, thank you so much, Renee, for having me today. It's an honor to be here. Yeah.
It's our pleasure. You have a very long history with Fibrenew, so I would love for you to share, how did you first even encounter the brand?
My uncle actually was looking for a way to pass his retirement, and he was selling his restaurant and having another business also running like by itself. So he wanted to do things with his hand and working back to the basic when he first learned working with leather back in his young time. So he looked into that and he bought one franchisee that I own right now. But after speaking with him, I was in mechanic and I've been to construction and I've been doing a couple of things and learning, but really did not find my X in life. So I had to try that. And the first repair that I saw that he showed me was basically a magic trick that I saw. Like there was a hole in the seat, and a couple seconds after that, there was no hole in the seat, and it was looking brand new. So I immediately fall in love with the business and the career and what he was doing basically.
I love that. And so after how many years was it that you transitioned from being an employee to then becoming the franchisee of that location?
It's probably a bit more than 3 years. So I was working as a technician. I was working for Montreal also and in La Loudière. So I was working for two franchisee at the time. I was a subcontractor. And basically, my uncle wanted to go and move to something else, and he offered me on silver platter, basically, the reign of the business. So he financed everything for me and make it very easy. So I was able to basically, I was knowing how to do the job properly. So I only have to adjust and try to sell the work to the customer and do my own like admin stuff and accountability. So the learning path was a bit easier on that way for sure.
Definitely. And I think it may have made things, you had a very interesting perspective already being in the business, working in the business, as opposed to exploring buying a franchise without having that experience. So that likely created a lot of, prepared you mentally, physically, because you already knew kind of the inner workings of the job. Were you always entrepreneurial? When you were growing up, did you think about owning your own business?
Well, I knew that working for somebody else was a bit hard at first because I always wanted to do things on my own and the way I see things. So that was a strong like advice or a strong uh, thing that pushed me into honing my business, but I never saw it basically until it was offered to me. And that was the way. I mean, that guy was having a vision, and I was part of it because he knew that I enjoyed being in the business, and I was taking like I was having a good time performing repair and stuff. And said, "This is basically the stuff for you. I mean, I will do that, and I will go for my retirement." And like I said, it was fairly easy jump. I only had to learn accountability and
So let me ask a little bit about scaling the business because, as I understand, your business has experienced a lot of growth, including expanding to a second territory. Um, Share with me a little bit about the growth, your growth, and how you've built your team and your client base. What has that looked like for you? Because I think it's something you do a little bit special.
yes. So at first, when I bought the franchise, I hired a subcontractor to try and show him the work and try to basically scale it up at first. And he was having a hard time like performing great repair. So I had to let him go because I wanted to keep name for myself at being the best at what I did at at Fibrenew because we do have some competitors, but I wanted to be able to be the AAA stuff and basically to have the good services and great repair. And he was not able to perform that, so I have to let him go. And after that, I did a couple years on by myself until basically I couldn't park any new customer. And when the phone was ringing, I would hope that it was somebody that I could fix over the phone because I did not have time for my customer because I was really busy. So and back fast forward, I was learning a bit about myself too, that my first employee that I had, my first subcontractor, I did not take the time to show him properly the way to do the repair because I was letting him like finding it out instead of me training him. But I learned that a couple year after that when I was doing retro inspection on myself, like how could I make it work? And I have to learn that well, if the guy is brand new at the job, he don't know how to do it. So my goal is to become a teacher and basically tell my employees how to do it. And if they have a problem, well, we have great communication skills now with technology and the telephone. So just send me a picture, tell me where you at in what stage, and then I can help you over the phone, like perform the way you want to perform also because uh, my employees now are like me, like they are finding that very attractive and they want to perform the magic trick for the customer and they don't want it to show after that. So they are perfectionist and I try not to put too much pressure on them, but I told them if you're not happy with the repairs, simply because it's not done. So take a bit more time and do it the way you want to offer it to the customer. So when you show them like Taram, this is done. I'm David Copperfield and I done that repair for you. And so be proud of what you do. This is the way. And I found out that this is the easier way to keep the employee and keep the customer happy so everybody could go forward in that journey that basically is life. And we have to enjoy what we do in life. This is the first thing you have to look for when looking into a franchise or something, or looking into another business or a new job. You want to spend time doing things that you love.
They say if you do something you love, you never work a day in your life.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it sounds like you've really, as a business owner, you've had to grow as well and learned how to better manage the team. And as you said, become that teacher rather than being the one who is, the master doing the work for the customer. You have to train others to have that same skill set. What would you say has been the most rewarding, but also the most challenging part of leading teams?
It's well, dealing with the human part of of a human and having to deal with emotions and stuff. I mean, if I react pretty hard on the job that you've done and I'm not happy with, I mean, you won't be happy with it. So it's just try to look at it in a positive way and try to manage emotion and don't always let them show. Even if you be boiling inside, you want to keep that sometimes for you. And yeah, and try to do not put pressure on the other and always see it like as a continuous thing that a basic training already like always flowing and information flowing too with employees and with customer and manage customer expectation too. That's the one big part of it. Like, well, we want to make it brand new, but I mean we try to do it, but sometimes it does not move the way we want, or the leather won't work well with the heat, so it will shrink a bit, and try to manage expectation before the customer see it. And then if you perform a great repair, the customer will always be happy. So that's another part of it.
Love that. We often talk about franchising as a very resilient business model, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't come without challenges or even obstacles don't arise, like any business. You had a pretty major pivot that you took in over the pandemic. Could you tell us a little bit more about that move that you made into the hospital contracts and home restoration?
Yes. I was having a subcontractor who was doing upholstery for me, and then he was offering great service for many years, and then sadly he was like he lost his father in the business. His father is still alive, but he took his retirement too. So he was working alone in his house and tried to take less customer and offer a bit longer service that my customer could not take. So I have to learn how to sue basically, and then hire somebody else to do it when the time was right. So I start with the mobile side of business, just performing restoration on site. And then I have to get a shop also to train new employees, but also to do the upholstery and try to learn that skill to offer to the customer, because sometimes the part is simply too dry or too old to be repaired and we need to replace it. So that's a big part of the business also right now, at the point that we are. I have a seamstress, a full-time seamstress right now, and I have another person who's doing the shop work of preparing the parts and reinstalling them for the shop. So we're pretty busy in that part. And yes, I always love to do service for customer, and it brings like great opportunity in the hospitality business. At first, everything was in fabric in the hospital, and they learned that they could not like sanitize fabric as well as vinyl clothing. So basically, we turned like 250 chairs from fabric to vinyl in 6 months. So we had to operate in that way. So that was a great year and a great turnaround also with COVID, because it was a pretty rock and roll time.
Sure. No, I love that. Um, so I'd love to hear, being a really veteran franchisee, being almost 2 decades now in the franchising space. Let's talk a little bit about some of the benefits of franchising. What do you love about the franchise model? What is it specifically about franchising that you find to be such a strength of franchising?
I had a lot of a lot of mentors in Fibrenew, basically, but I'm sure there is in other franchise too. But I mean, we're like a big family. We love just basically playing with each other and talking to each other and asking questions and just raising point and making other people find new way to think about the business and then growing also together. There's business in Alberta, in Fibrenew, that are only doing siding repair, which is amazing because I've done like only one in 20 years. Like I've done two broken windows on one house, and that's all. So I mean, my business is completely different than his, but speaking with him, I know that I could find more technician, train them and hire them just to find those kind of work, and basically opening a brand new kind of branch of what we already do so well. Yeah.
What kind of support systems or tools, technology has the franchisor provided you with that you would have otherwise had to go out and figure out on your own?
Uh, they basically do all of the products that we own and use on a daily basis are are fantastic products that they we have a scientist that basically mixing the recipe together to make sure that we have the best of the stuff that we use every day. And that's if you know plastic, you know that nothing like to stick to plastic. And still we have basically a fabulous products that will work in every type of situation. So that
Love.
helps for sure. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I think it's helpful for prospective franchisees to know that there is a lot of support that comes along
Yes.
being from the franchise or from also from fellow franchisees that you can speak to who are operating in different markets and may have a very similar business to you, identical, or as you were kind of saying, that they might have some variation as well, and you can learn from each other. So there's a huge community component to franchising as well. Um, Let me ask, because I think that it's also important for anyone who's considering business ownership. There is some amazing aspects of being a business owner, but it's not without challenges. I like to say being a business owner, like your number one skill is like solving problems essentially. And that you as the head of the company, you get to solve the problems that nobody else can solve. Those problems are the ones that come to you. What are some of the challenges that you're currently facing as a franchisee?
Uh, uh, trying to find time in the calendar because all the employees that I have are busy. Also, my time is fully booked for the full couple weeks out. So yeah, we try to find new hands and try to keep those employee and those potential hands to work for me. I had one employee 2 weeks ago that basically told me he was just starting in the company and I was starting his training, and he told me my ex-employer offered me like a deal that I could not refuse and offer him basically a full stash of money just to go back to his old work. Sadly, because he did not like what he did back then. So he was kind of a broken heart for him to take back the job. So it's kind of hard to find the right people that will fit like the mentality of the business, also the attitude, having a positive mindset if some is very something that I'm looking for when recruiting new employees. And yeah, we try to hire right now basically to help us basically do the work that is flowing out the door right now. So yeah,
So it's
managing time and try to do more in one day. Yeah, optimizing everything.
that's I think that finding talent right now is not an uncommon challenge across businesses in general. And so how do you what do you do to try to differentiate yourself to attract that talent that is already so hard to come by right now?
Try to focus on the human aspect. Basically, like my employees are not numbers in the company. They have name and they are getting respected. I mean, they also have some benefits to help them, and I'm pretty free with the range of hour that they can work. If they have a sick kid or something, they want to spend the morning home or the whole day. I mean, we have to deal with that and be human and understand. Also, I have kids, so if one of them don't feel well, I will go back to her basically and spend the money and spend the time with my kids for sure. Just make sure that everything's okay. So I offer that to the employees is a very good perk that they need to be like if you have more than 2 sick days in a week, I mean, I will understand that.
So really being understanding of your team members to make it attractive for them to be part of that team that is going to have that give and take relationship Sounds like a very understanding and wonderful place to work, because I know that there's many places that are not like that.
Yes.
So if you think back to when you were, which is many years ago, when you were just in the technician role, but as you ascended to becoming a business owner, what would you say your average day, if you were to describe your average day now of what it looks like compared to when you were in the role of the technician, how has your day changed or week changed? What does an average day and week look like for you, Cedric?
Okay. Uh, we do it at first. I mean, I was trying to clone myself basically. So I was having too much demand for the repair. So I need to find more hands to do more repair. So after having three employees, three technicians, I found out that my time was spent always on the telephone, on the internet, on the email, and try to answering back to customer and selling job over the phone and try to do estimate and here and there. So my time was basically only admin back then. So then I hired an admin to try to clone myself out of this of this like role and try to do something else. And then after that, I learned sewing, and now I've hired a seamstress to do the sewing and everything. So I always try to clone what I do to go back to where I was. Like right now, I'm being a technician, and I learned that I am more of an entrepreneur that like to work and do the job with my hands than working like all the time over the phone and on email and behind the computer screen. So I have to go on the road and perform some repair and see the customer right in face and see their reaction to this is what I love the most. So I want to be a foot in that door always. And also try to manage the business as well as I can, like, but I can do that over the phone right now. I don't need to be like all the time managing. Like it's a part of my time, but also I'm pushing a lot of work in the admin role that is to do more advertisement and social media presence and those kind of work to be able to sell more to and reach more customer.
I love that. And I think it's an important thing you touched on, which is that you still have balance. You mentioned your desire to still have proximity. I think that sometimes when we think about business ownership, it can feel like we're going from into a completely different role and we're not going to be able to interact. And if that's still a desire, there are many, not all, but there are many opportunities that allows you to kind of wear different hats, and you can have the hat of actually being the technician, but you also have to have the hat of the leadership role, your team building role, finance role, all of the things that comes along with it as well.
Exactly, but they still mostly are small role. But when you play with small scale businesses, I mean, unless I had like 10 or 12 employee technician on the road, now I'll be able to maybe more play more golf with potential customer and try to sell more work and get into new businesses or more branch. But for now, I like the one that being like I'm performing the repair. I still lay on vinyl floor sometimes to do the reed eye of the line of the wood and stuff like that. So, and I still enjoyed it.
I love
Maybe
that.
my body will tell me to do something else, and when I'll change my idea right there.
I'm sure. I mean, this is again, in 2 decades, in your third decade, as you said, you may um, prioritize other things in the business. So we touched on it briefly, but you have just acquired another franchise territory. So now you have two territories. What kind of adaptations do you foresee that the business is going to need as you take this step to expanding, as you now are managing not one but two territories? What kind of um, nuances or new ways of management do you think might be required from your end?
It will be just to recruit more talent and to retain them. Basically, continue the training because obviously it's a bigger area to cover on the mobile services. So the more you drive, the less you repair in one day. So basically, try to have someone operating and doing all the repair for that territory. I like to switch technician too, so my customer don't always see like the same guy performing the repair. I like to see that there's a team and we're helping, and we will send you the first one available. And in that way, they know that they are like it's Fibrenew that take care of them, and not Matthew or Steven that only do the job over there. So we try to make a rotation, and just to be able to also that the customer see new faces all the time.
Yeah, I think that's great because you want it to be at the end of the day the brand's name rather than specific individuals that they want specifically to come out and do their work. Otherwise, that creates a scaling problem for you because then they're always those who are being called out. So that completely makes sense. And we touched also on a little bit of technology. You mentioned sometimes on the job that your team members will send you photos, or you touched a little bit on social media. How does Fibrenew, how are you using technology in your business to either make the experience of the technicians or the end customer? How is technology used and kind of sets Fibrenew apart from others who are doing restoration?
That's a good thing. Eh, in the major way, the new training now, they have a color scanner that they can basically they can reach the mixing of the color fairly easily with the scanner. So you basically scan the color you want to mix, and it tells you the recipe that you put in, and you only have to do small adjustment from there. So from the new from the new employee that's the rookie, I mean, you will be able to perform a faster repair, quicker on the road, and be able to learn the skills fairly easily. That's one big improvement that we had over the year. And also just regular basic photo. So the customer will always show us some picture of what we have to repair. So that way we know exactly what to repair when we go there, because the customer is not always in the car with us when we do the repair or in the RV. So the technician will always look at it. We will take a before and a after picture and send it with the invoice, so the customer also know that has been done. And most of our customer will claim the repair too, because sometimes it's on brand new vehicles that have been delivered to the car dealership with a small scratch on the plastic or on the steering wheel. So that way also they can facilitate the claim and get paid by the company who made the scratch on it, basically. So that's a one great improvement for us. Yeah.
I think that's great. And it's really interesting. But I think before and afters are so important because truthfully, the memory is not a very, accurate thing. And so people sometimes forget how bad it was before. And so when they see that before and after, it can be super helpful in showcasing the value and the work that you actually did for them. Um, are you showcasing any of those before and afters on social media, or how are you using social media as a marketing tool for your business?
Or most of the business are fine from word to mouth, but the other one are from internet searches. We have a strong presence on Facebook. We like to show some before and after, but we also have to just basically love what we do still and apply that mentality also in advertisements. So we will focus more on what we do on a daily basis, and basically try to make people laugh also when doing our own advertisements. So yeah, we try to basically just mix ideas together and try to shoot a small video on what we do. So we melted like chocolate for Easter lately on the couch, and after that we will like, if you have a mess on Easter, we will be there to fix it for you. And yeah, we basically eat also the chocolate from the couch. So that was pretty funny. And I apply that right now too. The before and the after are right after me. I right in the back of me. So yeah, we try to show them to the customer most of the time, and yeah, just try to put it out there so people to see. And yeah, it's not only magic. We do also that. Yeah.
I love that. And I love the creativity and the humor that you infuse in your marketing and in the videos because I think that that is a way to really connect and creates relatability to your customer. And they're thinking about maybe their kids who have sat on a Easter egg and melted it into the leather. So or into the fabric. 100%. That's great. Um, Being a veteran franchise owner, my question to you is what type of person do you think thrives in a franchise system? What type of qualities does that person have?
Never asked myself that kind of question. You need to stay like open-minded about like what other people can teach you about. I mean, there are some franchisee that won't succeed as much as other, but I think it always come from the inner voice. Like you have to be able to know yourself and try to be able to break the mold that you've done for all of your life and try to to get out of it if you want to grow. It's so easy just to become like a one-man stop shop and just do it by yourself. But if you want to grow in the business, if you want to expand, you have to let go some fear that putting trust into another human being can be hard for most of the people, and you have to trust people, and the more respect you show them, the more respect they will show you. I mean, and be back to the basic of skill, communication, humanity, and yeah, respect is very fairly important.
I love that. And I think it's really, really good advice as well. Um, what what would you share with someone? What advice would you share with someone who's maybe kind of in a fork in the road and considering doing something on their own independently solo versus exploring a franchise? If you had a friend who came to you who said, I'm not very happy in my current career and my job, I'm considering either going out and starting something on my own or exploring franchising, what advice would you give to them?
The franchise business will offer you simply a simplified solution. Rather, it's about a window repair or just like the thermals that the window that need to be changed or stuff like that. They will offer you solution products, pricing lists, growth strategy, basically everything that you need to know that you will have to spend enormous amount of time doing it by yourself. So it's basically a shortcut into every kind of business you want to own. I mean, it can be also like just regular service, cleaning service. I mean, if you have the basic of the promotional aspect of it, everything has been already think into that model that will work for people. A simple color of a logo can change everything. So, I mean, people spend time doing it. If you want to do it well, you will have to spend that much time. So, yeah, it can be a good kickstart and save you a lot of time in the long run. Yeah.
And I hear that time and time again is that when in the franchise model, if we think of like a book in chapters, you're kind of starting at like chapter 5. Whereas if you're starting your own business, I think there's value in both pathways and both are good pathways to consider, but you are starting on page 1 and you're writing your book and you have to figure out everything. So I think that that's a great call out that franchising is a pathway for folks who want structure and who want the ability to scale quickly because there's so much of it already in place for you. You don't have to figure that out. So for someone who's looking more at um, franchising, and let's say maybe they're interested in Fibrenew, they're exploring Fibrenew, what kind of questions do you think a prospective franchisee should be asking to the franchisor? Your situation is a little bit unique because you are already in the business and essentially taking over. But if someone was coming to the brand for the very first time, what kind of questions do you think would be important or good questions for them to be thinking about and asking either of the franchisor or even of themselves?
Um, I think I think it's got to be a love story. I mean, it has to come with the passion that you find in your work. I mean, you cannot own a hamburger restaurant if you're a vegetarian. I mean, it makes no sense. Yes, you will feed people and you would make people happy, but inside of you, it's not you. It's not for you. So you have to find something that will kick you out of your chair and want you to do every day. So it all starts with passions. And ask the people around you, ask the franchisee around you, do you still have the passion for what you do? And they will basically tell you, yeah, if you had to start over again, will you take the same way that you did? That's also a great question. But inside of you, yeah, you have to start. You have to have the fire for that thing. I mean, plus I'm saving plastic and leather from the landfill. I mean, that's also a great thing for me. I'm having a good kick from that too. So yeah.
What do you wish more people knew about what it actually takes to succeed in business?
Think that everybody knows it, that you have to put the hard work. Uh, there's no basically recipe. There's no online recipe that you could put $100 in and it will give you 1,000 at the end of the week. There's nothing that works like that. Uh, the only magic that's possible is the one you create. So you have to work for it. You have to be accounted from yourself. You have like one word, you have to keep it. If you tell something to somebody, you have to go for it. So always uh, trust your guts and work it. And that's the way. There's no shortcut. There's some shortcut, but I mean, in the long run, you have to put sweat and blood and tears into what you do. Yeah.
I love that. Cédric, it's been such a pleasure to talk to you. I have one more question I would love to ask, which is what is one truth about franchising that's taken you years to learn?
Yeah. Focus on yourself. Ask you the right question. Uh, Always try to learn more about yourself, uh, and find the things that will make you happy, uh, and just enjoy the ride. I mean, there's no point at the end. There's nothing at the end. So enjoy the ride. That's the thing you have to focus on. Yeah. Just build your dream life out of it. You want to spend more time with your kid, work a bit less, do it. That's fine with you. Do it. If you want to build $1 million businesses that will generate a lot of revenue, just work for it and enjoy that. Find the kicks and keep it that way. Try to manage it and try to balance everything about the things in life that you enjoy the most.
Amazing. I think that that's really insightful and also, a very valuable perspective. So I appreciate you sharing that. It's been such an amazing conversation talking with you, hearing about your journey from the early beginnings to where you've been in the franchise owner seat now for 2 decades and expanding. So, congratulations on all your success. And I hope this episode inspires some prospective franchisees to consider the franchising pathway. And I look forward to speaking with you again soon. Thank you so much, Cédric.
Thank you, Renee. It was a great seeing you.
Thanks for listening to Franchise Canada Chats. I'm Renée Boudakian with Rubicon Franchise Partners, and this podcast is produced by Joelle Kidd with the Canadian Franchise Association. Missed an episode? You can find Franchise Canada Chats on Spotify, SoundCloud, or wherever you get your podcasts. For expert insights, success stories, and franchise opportunities, visit franchisecanada.online. And while you're there, subscribe to Franchise Canada e-News, a trusted resource for aspiring franchisees looking to achieve their dreams and build their franchise future. If you're exploring franchise ownership, check out lookforafranchise.ca or learn more about franchising at cfa.ca. Thanks again for listening. We'll see you next time.